good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur here coming at you tonight. That's December 11th. Today is a Saturday evening. And for those of you that are new, welcome. So what we're doing is we're doing 25 days of inspirational gifts around the holidays. And each night between December 1st and December 25th, I open a gift that I'm giving myself with an inspiration to actually help us to become better versions of ourselves. Okay. So let's take a look here the other night, and welcome back to those that came back. The night we talked about creativity, I actually finished offline. I finished the beautiful candy cane and the present. Okay. So tonight, I've got a gift here. Pretty heavy, actually. If I can hear much on it. All right, let's open it, all right? So that's usually what we do. So let me open it. Hey, why don't you tell me, first of all, if this looks kind of interesting to you, give me a thumbs up, a like, a support, whatever it is, whatever channel you are, to show me that you're engaging. And why don't you comment below in the spot, wherever you are on your platform, and tell me, what do you think is in this package? I don't want to give it away. I mean, I know it's in because I wrapped it, but it has something around it, almost like a plastic, like bubble wrap, it almost feels like. All right, so let me open this up. Remember to tag your friends, colleagues, and associates and share it with them at the end of this broadcast. All right, I'm going to open up this wrap. What do we got here? Well, got more wrap here. Hey, Kenny, how are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's great to see you tonight. We are on day 11. Hopefully you've been catching up. We've had a lot of great gifts. Tonight, we just unwrapped a gift, and here is what it is. It is a San Judas Tadeo candle, but I'm more interested in the fact that it's a candle. So why did I give myself a candle? Well, it could be any kind of candle, but I like one that's in a glass or that's a little bit bigger so that, it's not just a tiny little stick. And I gave myself a candle because I want to encourage you all to meditate. You see, when you make the choice to meditate, so many things happen. And if you think about a candle, okay, and you could go to your local dollar store, you can go to your religious store, you can go to your home improvement store and buy a nice candle, okay? And then what you do is you set that candle somewhere home. And what I recommend doing is setting it on a metal tray like this, okay? So it's safe. You could put some aluminum foil on it because, again, we always want to encourage safety. And first, I should tell you that if you light the candle, you never should leave the candle lit if you leave your home or if you think you may fall asleep. So it's very important to, when you're using the candle, I recommend putting it like on your counter. And again, closing your eyes is fine to me, but you're conscious of the candle. You can kind of pay attention to it. You can see the light. The candle is actually going to help connect you with energies that you probably didn't even know existed in the world. And so if you just light the candle and you look at that candle dead on, it's going to draw you in. You remember what I said many times before, right? Energy and attention. Remember that? Energy. What was the phrase? Energy flows where attention goes. So if you were to take this candle every night and light it, maybe you could have your mantra. Maybe you could look into it. Maybe you could just get a sense of calm and the ability to be peaceful. Now you might say, John, why the heck would I want to do that? Well, you see, a lot of people are so much in this hustle and bustle every day in life. They really are. And so by using something like a candle, all right, it is something that really can really just kind of relax you. And it can take you out of the current moment and bring you into another. I want to welcome all those on my personal Facebook page, on my John C. Morley Serial Entrepreneur Facebook page, on my LinkedIn profile page, as well as my YouTube John C. Morley Serial Entrepreneur page, and my Twitch John C. Morley Serial Entrepreneur. The light from the candle can be mesmerizing. I think you mean yes, definitely. So when you focus on the flame, this is why I like these big candles. You actually get the flame, not just here. You want to stand the wick up so that you actually can see it, okay? And you want to stand that up. And so even when it's burning, you can literally see the flame reflect off of the glass. And so just looking at a candle, okay, can be so empowering to you to give gratitude when you light the candle and to think about just being. So that means don't focus on anything new, don't focus on anything old, just focus on the moment, focus on the present. So when we meditate, of course, we can think about the past, we can think about the future, but I want you to do something unique. I want you to focus on the present. That's what I thought. Mesmerizing, exactly. And if we were to go over to our friends at Webster, you all know Merriam-Webster, who I use quite a bit on here. I'm very grateful for them. And if we were to look up the word, in case you guys don't know what that is, mesmerizing or mesmerize, we look up the word mesmerize, okay, we will see something very interesting about that word. So there's lots of different forms of it, by the way, but we're going to look at mesmerize, and that's a verb. And so mesmerize is actually subject to mesmerism. Another word for mesmerism is to hypnotize, spellbind. The crowd became mesmerized by the breathtaking show of fireworks. It takes us from where we are right now and it just transports us somewhere. Now, a lot of people don't want to transport. Why? Well, because they have trouble letting go. So when you're mesmerized, you just get captivated by just awe. Have you ever gone to a restaurant and maybe it's Benihana or something else and they cook in front of you and you just, the first time I remember when I went to a Benihana many years ago and, they did the grill nice with the cloth and everything and they got everything all with the oil and then they turned it on and then all of a sudden they took like a match and then they quick put it on the grill and then all went up in flames. And then it kind of went out, but I was mesmerized for that second. I was in the moment. I was in the present moment. If you can focus on the present moment, right? The past we can't change. Okay, we can grow from our lessons of the past. And the future, yes, we can make a difference, but let's focus on the present. Thank you so much for your kindness, Kenny. I appreciate the comment. He says that my shows are mesmerizing to him. That is great. So we are doing our series, and we're almost halfway done. We're on day 11, but what's going to be even more interesting than the show is starting next year. Yes, starting next year, I'm going to be writing a book. Every chapter is going to be one gift of inspiration. The title of my book, 25 Gifts of Inspiration to Improve the Quality of Your Life. Or on the ending, I'm still playing with 25 Gifts of Inspiration to improve your life. Something like that. And I think when you can get deep, right? The other night, I'm not sure if you remember, I was talking about creativity a few nights ago. And look what I created. Okay? I did the candy cane. Now, what did those things teach me? Well, they taught me patience. And they taught me that I actually don't paint too badly. And, what am I going to do with these things, you're wondering? Well, I'm actually going to give them to my parents as a little stocking stuffer for the holidays. And I have to put the little string around it and stuff. But when you can appreciate the moment and where you are. Today, I did something very interesting. I went axe throwing for the very first time at Stumpy's. And I have to tell you, when I got there, my adrenaline was a little bit high. Not when I got outside. When I was waiting for the rest of the team to come and I had paid, they told me I had to scan a QR code and then sign a waiver for the year. And I was like, okay, this sounds like serious. They just want to make sure people aren't horsing around. When I got to the axe pit, there was a nice gentleman by the name of Brandon who went over the safety of how to use the axe, how to take it back, how to throw it. And the first time he threw it, the sound of that axe just going right through. That is so kind of you, Kenny. I think we're all artists, but I appreciate that sentiment. So he threw that first axe, and I was mesmerized. I was captivated until, bam, I heard that sound. What's that sound? That was the sound of the axe hitting the wood. And it took me a few throws before I got comfortable with that sound, because it was a sound that you're not used to hearing all the time. Something where you think something's wrong. And then I picked up my axe, and there was a partner next to me. And I put the axe behind me, got my foot in the right stance. I was right-handed, so you put your right foot up, and then you take a walk as you're throwing the left, throwing the hand down all the way out, and you release. I threw it, and the first time I threw it, it hit the wall, and it went on the floor. I was like, okay, that wasn't so bad. Then I kept doing it a few more times, and yes, I actually hit the bullseye once today. And then when I hit it, I got to ring the bell. So you kind of get to brag. So it wasn't that expensive. I have to tell you, if you have a chance to go axe throwing, I first thought they were going to give us this huge axe. No, they gave me a little tiny axe, and it was a lot of fun. You can bring your own drink. You can bring your own food. You can order food. It was a nice environment. We did it for about an hour with some guys, and it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. And you see, it's these types of moments that get us to appreciate who we are, where we've come from, and what we're becoming. I think too many times we're always centered on, oh my gosh, this is what I have to do. I get it. Let's just enjoy where we are right now. Maybe we're not Picassos. Maybe we're not the best axe thrower in the world, but let's enjoy where we are. Let's enjoy the fact that we can throw the axe. And the fact when I got that one to the center, I was like captivated. And then it was like, oh, John, don't forget to ring the bell. And I went to ring the bell. And I got to tell you, the bell doesn't ring very often. Maybe in a half hour, it might ring once. And there's a couple other groups, but it's not easy to hit the center of that target, because if you don't release at the appropriate time, it overspins. Why did I do this? Great question. So yes, it was something out of the ordinary. Some friends of mine asked me what I want to do. I said, let's go axe throwing. And we decided a few weeks ago, and we went axe throwing. A lot of people were like, few people were like petrified. I remember getting to the pit, and my heart was like pumping. And the adrenaline I felt until I actually threw my first axe, I was like, okay, this isn't that bad. It's not crazy. And it was interesting. Yes, it was out of the ordinary. And it was something that pushed my comfort zone just a little bit. And you've heard me say before, you have to push your comfort zone. You have to push it. And this was amazing. Next time we're going to do laser tag. And then I've done rock climbing before. It's important to have different experiences in life, but to appreciate where you are right now in life. So maybe you're studying to be a musician, okay? But for whatever reason, you're not the musician that you want to be today. Okay, fine. You know, Picasso didn't become the artist overnight, and neither did Scott Joplin being one of the greatest musicians. Tchaikovsky or any of the other players that play all kinds of classical music, they didn't get that overnight. These rock bands didn't become a sensation overnight, nor did these rappers become a sensation overnight. They took some time. But now that I did it, I appreciate the experience, the fact that my arm, because we did it for an hour. I mean, if you do it more than an hour, or maybe some people do it 2 hours, your arm's going to get tired. And I just thought it was just so interesting the way we were able to do this and, have fun in a different way. There were a few people I talked to today and I said, gee, I went axe throwing. And you could tell they weren't interested in hearing anything more. And I was like, what's the matter? Oh, yeah, I'm not really. I said, you're not interested? No, I'm not interested in that. And, this is something I want to share with you. If you're not interested in something because you don't like it, that's not a reason to express no interest to someone. Someone does something, you should show interest in that. Even if you don't like it, ask a question. You might just build a friend. I want to end with another really, really good story. So this is National Friendship Week, for those of you that don't know, that we're coming to the end of. And I received an email the other day, one of these emails that I got from a friend, and didn't think much of it, but I said, I'm going to read this. And they wanted me to forward to other people, which I didn't do as an email. I'm against doing things like that. But the email did motivate me enough to post it in my Facebook group and share it with some other groups. And the reason I did this is here. I read it, and there was a boy that wasn't getting along with other people that well. He was like kind of a loner, nerdy type, similar to myself. And he was but he wasn't able to make friends. And people would tease him for things like, if you're holding the books, like, oh, gee, you're taking too many courses, gee, you're a real nerd, and just not right. And so there was someone that befriended him, and they became great friends. But here's the reason I tell this to you. Not because they became friends. I mean, that's important, but there's an even better reason. That kid that he became friends with, before the year had ended, they became very good friends. He basically had said to him, he had all these books. He says, wow, he says, I'm jealous. He says, you're going to get a lot of extra muscles, and the girls are going to be going after you. I'm jealous. So he kind of turned that around, right? That's why I asked you the question. I'm interested, but I won't be throwing axes anytime. Okay, I'll get to in a second, but I got to share one thing with you, Kenny. It's not like going to do like skydiving. I haven't done that, but it's not like that intense. But it's the fear, which fear is false evidence appearing real, realizing that it's safe. It's a small axe, and you're in a pit, so it's very safe. And when you throw it, no one goes and gets an axe until you both have thrown. So if you try it, trust me, you're gonna like it. It's only like $25 for an hour. So I think you will be pleasantly surprised after you throw your first axe. You're like, oh my gosh, because you're thinking of a big axe like I did. All right, so getting back to my story. There's this kid, and he was other people would tease him, but he actually was saying he's jealous because he's carrying all those books, he's building all those muscles for the ladies. And the end of the year came, and he was valedictorian. He was asked, obviously, to give the valedictorian speech, so he had to go work on that. And he gave the speech, and this speech, ladies and gentlemen, was something that would leave goosebumps on you. He started out by saying that he had no friends, and that that really wouldn't matter to most people. And the day that this other kid befriended Kyle, which was the other kid's name, Kyle was the kid that he made. So Kyle was the kid that was the valedictorian, and he said, just a few moments before they started to become friends, he was contemplating killing himself and committing suicide. And I don't know about you, but this whole chill went down my back, just like right now. And he talked about how all the kids made fun of him when they would try to pull the books out of his hand, and all kinds of, terrible things. And at the very end, he said something very interesting. One of the most important things in our life, and that we can give to someone, around the holidays, any other time, is the gift of friendship. You see, you don't know how much somebody needs your friendship. You might say, gee, I'm just being friendly. You might just have saved somebody's life. And that's what this kid did for Kyle. And when he learned that by his friendship being extended to him and making friends with him, that he actually changed the kid's mind from committing suicide. He never mentioned he was going to commit suicide, never mentioned it at all. But the fact that this kid's friendship took him out of depression from wanting to kill himself to now being on top of the world. I mean, this kid was valedictorian. And at the very end of the speech, he said to, all the people and his parents, said, Mom, Dad, I'm so glad that that such and such became my friend, because not only would I have killed myself, I would have never got the opportunity to share the speech and to pass this message on to people, which is the fact that a friendship could save someone's life. Ladies and gentlemen, that just took me. That took me. And I didn't want to share it through emails, but I did post it to a few groups. And I have to tell you, I posted it maybe 5 or 10 groups. I only got 5 responses. But the responses I got were, John, that hit me in the heart, or that made me cry. All those 5 people gave me responses that were amazing. Thank you for the comment. Yes, it's a beautiful story. Thank you. But all the other people in life, that tells me something. Kenny and everybody else who's watching, again, thank you for everybody who's watching tonight and that's watching us on the restream. Everyone is too busy to do something for someone else. You ever notice that? They're too busy. Why are they too busy? They're too wrapped up in their own life. So friendship is not something just for you. Because everybody says, oh, I got to have a friend. I don't have friends. Friendship is important to you, but it might be even more important to the other person. You may not know whose life you saved until many years later. If this kid wasn't there at that moment, he was planning to kill himself. It brings tears. It brings agony to me, to knowing that schools would not be able to sense this and allow the bullying that went on. See, that's the reason why bullying is not allowed today. It's not just because it harms somebody, because it does, but it really kills their self-esteem and can go right for their jugular, and the person might want to take themselves out in the world. That's just unbelievable. So as we wind down National Friendship Week, and I'm going to talk about it tomorrow too, think about someone that maybe you could befriend. It's not too late. You can always help someone in your life. I remember a very famous person. I'm not going to mention his name, but he's on a pretty large basketball team. And he goes into one of these fast food places, not to eat himself, but just to basically, say hello to the people and maybe sign some autographs. But you know what else he does? There's 2 or 3 homeless people in there. You know what he does? He asks him, what would you like? And then he brings him up to the counter. He says, get my friend a double Big Mac, or get my friend. And he calls him a friend. How many people do you know that would give you the shirt off their back to help you? How many people do you know right now that would take food off of their plate or money out of their wallet to give you something before they got it themselves? I believe that our world does want to do good. It's just that people get so wrapped up in themselves And they don't stop to appreciate the present moment of life. They don't stop. So by meditating, which is what we're getting back to here, being in the moment, different things can become clear to you. When you have that clear mind, you're able to just sort through things a little better. Get some inspiration that maybe you didn't have before. I ask you this question as I'm wrapping up. If you were that little boy and you were contemplating suicide, wouldn't you want or have wanted a boy like the other kid to friend you? I know I would. I think sometimes people feel they don't fit in this world. And that happens because our world is not a nice place all the time. But it's important to be nice to everyone. The tables do turn. And if someone's nasty to you, I don't tell you to be nasty to them or to wish them anything bad. If you can't get along with someone or they can't get along with you because they're just nasty, you can be cordial or you can avoid them, but don't be rude to that person. We talked about polite and being courteous, right? Being polite, actually, we talked about, and being nice. Polite and courteous are the same thing. So polite and courteous. You don't need to be nice to everybody, but you need to be polite. That's important. I would love it if you'd be nice, but I know it's not in everybody. It's not in their DNA to be nice to everyone. I'm sure you've had a moment in your life and you wish somebody was there to be there for you. This story that I posted should have brought tears to thousands of people on the boards I posted it. 5 people responded. That's sad. That means that if 5 people responded, and this was a real issue in a school, that boy would have died. There's not a lot of people like the person that friended Kyle, and I wish there were more people like this. Life is such a beautiful thing to be lived. And when you can be valued and people can show you they appreciate you and they love you and they care about you, that is so priceless, ladies and gentlemen. So very priceless. So get yourself a candle, light it every day, and spend some quiet time. Some people like to pray before their candle and then meditate. And just be aware of how quiet everything is and how this moment is such a great gift that we have on earth. Just like the moment we have when we get up in the morning, we're grateful we have another day. Do you give thanks and do you meditate daily on your blessings? If you don't, you should. And if you know of somebody that's getting battered and getting hit like this, befriend them. You might just save a person's life. Ladies and gentlemen, I am John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. I can't express to you in words tonight what a privilege, a pleasure, and an honor it has been to be with you this evening, December 11th, Saturday, to share my gift that I received, a candle, to meditate, to be in the moment. If you got value out of this, or if this resonated with you, go over to youtube.com. Type in my name, John space C space Morley, and then the word serial entrepreneur. Once you do, look for the key phrase, help keep our content free. Below that, make the choice, ladies and gentlemen, to click on that PayPal link and buy my team and I a cup of coffee or a glass of water. We'd be so grateful with those pennies and dollars. We'll invest them into new hardware, new technology, equipment, people, and even new facilities to give you the most jaw-dropping, motivational content available today. And starting January 1, we're already lighting the fire because we'll be coming up with another series. That means every month we'll have at least 1 or 2 series, and they'll be very specific. I hope that every single month I'll get new people that I'll hit a chord with, that will be building and wanting to follow the messages that I deliver each night. I hope you have a great rest of your evening, and I hope that you love your friends and you appreciate them. Appreciate them for what they do and befriend people that don't have friends. The difference of that may be whether someone stays alive or not. I hope you have a great rest of your evening, and I'll be back tomorrow Sunday with day 12, and another great gift just for you. Take care, everyone.